well pleased. And look at the life of Christ and everything he does. He has been an extension of God's beloved to even to the world till today. Christ left all his glory. Christ left all that belongs to him and came into earth to die for you and I. I still always picture it as portrayed by Passion of Christ. Look at that whip. In my little mental head, I picture it and I feel that pain in my body. I say, these Romans are wicked. Why should you use such a whip on a human being? But Christ took it all for us. Christ is knocking at somebody's house right now. Have you ever considered what it will be for you when you answer that call? When you pick up that God's call, it may not really be what you think it is. Most of us have come to discover we don't pick God's call because we don't want to hear what he wants. We don't want to hear what he thinks he will say. Because that's what we've been primarily pitched on, that this is what God will say. That one, God wants to send us to a strange land, a foreign land as missionaries. Yes, going to the mission field is beautiful. Going to the mission field is a great thing. But I tell you, there are some mission fields that you can best imagine. This is why sometime in my life since I came across this woman, she's the wife of a friend of mine. She married, I don't know how but from day one of their marriage, they married in Lagos, they moved to Katsina Allah. Katsina Allah is the man in Niger. Both of you can be shouting at each other. The day I visited them about 10 years ago, I traveled all through the night. I arrived Katsina Allah 15 minutes after 12 the following day. That is day 3 from Lagos. And I saluted this woman and said, God, baby, no be by force, so you knew that. I'm sure my friend Stephen, today by grace of God, is a zonal pastor in Port Harcourt in Redeemed Christian Church of God. I said, babe, don't be by force. What are you doing here? In the day, they don't transact business in the day. Life starts 7 p.m. and it runs all through the night. The sun is hot enough to fry an egg without it. So I look at it, yeah, God has called some for that. But why don't you pick up the God's call today and see whether it's going to send you there? I tell you no. It may just be to talk to Taiwo about the love of Christ, or to call James and put him back on the right path. Or it's just for you to stand up for for somebody who is being bullied. That could be God's call for you. Don't shy away from it. When you stand up for somebody, God will stand up for you. Remember Moses, when he stood up for the Israelites, Egypt never remained the same again. By the time God stood up for him. Or do you want to talk about Daniel? By the time he called his friends, said, let us separate ourselves from the king's meat. Let us not partake of this. By the time Daniel finished his life, he outlived 4 kings. On the average, kings of those days, they don't die like chickens. They live very long. They live a good time. So imagine, let's say Daniel started his civil service career at age 50. And he at last a king of 30 years. 30 times 4. So you can see how long he lived and how long he was able to outlive his masters. So also likewise to you. When you answer God's call, He will also stand up for you, and you have no cause to afraid. When you answer God's call, it places you on a pedestal of favor. For as many of us who are favorite children of our fathers, you will know this for sure. When daddy calls you, when daddy has 3 meats